with what Cassius said to Brutus, which is maybe the fault's not in the algorithms, but it's in ourselves, that people are in this decentralized internet, posting what they want to say, looking at what they want to be enraged by, and this is just part of human nature that's being amplified by the web.
And to a certain extent, that's true. But when you see something which makes you angry online, then immediately, so you could blame the person who posted it. But also, if in fact that post was circulated in 1 million people's feeds, then you could blame the algorithm. So there's both sides.
So in other words, you try to restrict a company not from allowing posts, which it should do under free speech, but from amplifying it through the algorithm?
Yeah.
Do you think government or somebody should regulate what some people would call disinformation and other people would just say people's free speech?
In general, I think that it's a very tricky so, but there are some things which are illegal. So inciting violence, for example, is illegal. So there are things where society decided that it should be illegal on the web also.
You talk about the toxic environment of social media, all built on the web architecture that you invented. Do you think artificial intelligence, the advent of AI, gives us a chance to hit a reset button on the toxic nature of what's online?
Yes, I do. Yeah, because we're rethinking everything. So yeah, AI gives us a chance, as you say, to hit a reset button. So when you figure out how AI works, then we can insist on, for example, an AI that works for me. I wrote about that a few years ago, and now we've made one. If an AI works for you, Siri doesn't work for me. Siri works for Apple. And Alexa works for Amazon. And so when Alexa makes a choice, if I say I want to buy some running shoes, Alexa will go through the process of selling me running shoes just like Amazon does by operating their market. But where Amazon is the one that's going to gain the most from that transaction. So I want an AI that was not for Amazon or Apple, but I want one that works for me. And I wrote that up, and we've actually my company, Interrupt in the Alliance, we've actually demonstrated that you can do that. You can make an AI which you trust, it works for you, and because you trust it, you give it all your access to all your personal data. And so when you do that, then it's very much more effective in answering questions that are working in your interest.
When you invented that thing and you wrote about it a few years ago, you called them agents, and that's what they're being called now, which is an AI agent. That's going to be my agent that'll book my holiday or buy my running shoes if indeed I needed them. Why would that agent, how would you make it different from the agents that we're getting now from our AI systems?
We make it different by, when you set the AI up, you set it up and you train it to be helpful to the individual instead of, you don't, particularly when you make a commercial decision like what car to buy or what holiday to go on or vacation to go on, you make sure that it is working as your agent. So with the way the agent works is that you have all your data in a solid data wallet. Solid is the protocol, which I've also described in the book. Solid is a way of allowing you to have data that you control. Then when you start an application, then it asks you where you want to store the data, and it gives you complete control over that data. Because it's a very different world from the current one.
Well, the current